There was one more critical point of evidence that takes this up to the next level, and also tying in more of the Final Fantasy VII compilation. The true identities of the Harbinger of Fate and its three protectors, Whisper Rubrum, Verdi, and Crokeo. As it says in their flavor text, they are manifestations of beings here to protect the future that gave birth to them. Now you've probably seen IGN's video discussing how they fight with a sword, a gun, and fists, so therefore they are a future version of Cloud, Barret, and Tifa respectively. But Whisper Rubrum has a short sword in his left hand, not a massive buster sword. It's not Cloud. Whisper Crokeo has two handguns, not a massive gun arm. And Whisper Verdi doesn't have two gloves, only one. They are not the future manifestations of Cloud, Barret, and Tifa. They are the manifestations of the Advent Children, Kadaj, Laz, and Yazoo. There is so much backing this claim up. Kadaj fights using fire magic and a short sword in his left hand. He becomes Whisper Rubrum. Laz uses lightning magic and a large glove on his right hand. He becomes Whisper Verdi. Yazoo uses wind magic and fights with two guns. He becomes Whisper Crokeo. In Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, who do the remnants of Sephiroth summon to fight for them? None other than Bahamut. Now in Remake, who do the Whispers merge and form after their defeat by the party? Bahamut. Now this isn't just coincidental, because the name of the main Whisper is Whisper Harbinger. Now in the film Advent Children, Vincent Valentine calls Sephiroth Heaven's Dark Harbinger. Sephiroth seems to have something to do with the actions of these Whispers, or at least Jenova, because if the protectors of the planet are taking the names of the biggest threat to it, something is wrong. Perhaps Jenova did more damage to the planet 2,000 years ago than originally thought, but why exactly would Sephiroth want to challenge what would appear to be a manifestation of his future self? I believe this will be answered in the coming entries of Remake's story. Since there are no conclusive evidence surrounding this topic, I can only assume that the Advent Children will appear again, just in a different form, at least after the apparent destruction of the Whispers at the hand of the party. The opening movie of Remake is strikingly different from that of the original, with all the added shots of the upper plates of Midgar to show off more of the planet and the effect Shinra has on it. But when you directly compare the shots that are remade from the original, the iconic shot of Aerith staring into the Mako in the alleyway has something different about it. In the original, she just walks out of the alleyway onto Loveless Street, but in Remake, she is startled by something down the alley and runs out to be knocked down on the sidewalk. What startled her so? And I think this could be answered musically, as something was added to the prelude to the game, something iconic, yet it took me a few listens to make sure it was there. Throughout the opening movie, there are the chords and Latin lyrics of One Winged Angel, which of course is Sephiroth's battle theme. Now, Sephiroth's theme is not at all present at this point of the original game, and I believe that this is hinting that something is already wrong from the beginning of the game. Now this would answer the previous question. Aerith hears Sephiroth. She knows that he's there, but how would she know? One of the final shots of the original game, after Holy is summoned to stop Meteor, is a vision of Aerith closing her eyes. Now the opening shot of Remake, she's opening them. She does not open her eyes at the beginning of the original, so why else would they change something seemingly so insignificant, yet only to suggest that Aerith knows what has happened in the original game, to give a line of continuity by the closing and the opening of the eyes, that she, like Sephiroth, knows the events of the original game. Aerith seems to act weird in certain situations. Without Cloud telling her that he was a soldier, she knows, and knows that he is also a merc. She tries to cover it up by saying she guessed from his Buster Sword. And when Aerith predicts exactly what Cloud would do in a situation, he says, "Quit acting like you know me." She does. Before Tifa asks Aerith to rescue Marlene, she just guesses it and runs off to save her. Tifa even looks surprised at this, but just accepts it as Marlene's in danger. And when she first meets Cloud, she says that the flower she gives him symbolizes a reunion, and acts like she already knows who he is. Because she does, he just doesn't know her yet, and she's trying to keep the timeline on track. There are a great many examples of these, and there's an excellent post on the Remake subreddit by user DBClick, compiling over 50 pieces of evidence backing this up, including references that Aerith knows that she is destined to die at the hands of Sephiroth. Aerith knows what is going to happen to the party, and by extent, her death at the hands of Sephiroth. She has been sent back, or at least received the memories of the original Aerith by the planet. She's an ambassador, but when she sees Sephiroth, it appears that her plan of keeping the timeline intact changes. When the party is at Destiny's crossroads, Aerith gives the party this information.
This is the point of no return. Destiny's crossroads.
Then why did you stop me?
I'm not really sure.
What will we find on the other side?
Freedom. Boundless, terrifying freedom. Like a great, never-ending sky. What you heard just now were the voices of the planet. Those born into this world, who lived and who died, who returned, are howling in pain.
Because of him, Sephiroth?
Their words, they don't reach him. All these moments and memories, precious and fleeting, they're like rain rolling off his back. And when they're gone, he won't cry or shout or anything. He'd tell you that he only cares about the planet, that he'd do everything in his power to protect and preserve it. But this isn't the way it's supposed to be. There's no greater threat to the planet than him. Sephiroth has to be stopped. He has to be. And that's why I'm asking you to help me. I know that together we can do this. But if we do, we'll be changing more than fate itself. If we succeed, if we win, we'll be changing ourselves. I guess maybe that's why I hesitated. You worry too much. I'm not some princess who needs to be coddled. Shit.
Aerith knows that the only way to combat this virus to the planet, Sephiroth, is to challenge fate itself, and it seems to go against the will of the planet. Why she seems to go against it, I do not know, but I hope this will be answered in future installments. But as of now, the conflict of the coming games will be between those blessed with premonition, Aerith and Sephiroth.